Alrighty, guys. As promised, part two of body armor. This will be the absolute longest video I have ever made to date. I have a lot of Reddit articles. I have a lot of citing my sources to deal with. I also have a lot, simply just a lot to talk about. So I'm going to jump right into it. This is part two of body armor. This is a video I'm doing separate from my weekly schedule. For those of you who follow my security schedule, this upcoming week of Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be your less lethal implements. We're going to be working our way up the use of force continuum. Monday will be OC. Tomorrow will be OC. Wednesday will be tasers, and we will end the week on Friday with batons, as batons are right below pulling your surface weapon and going deadly force, going lethal. Batons are considered one step below firearm. That's generally what's accepted, or that's generally is what is accepted within the use of force continuum. That escalation of OC, taser, baton, and then deadly force. Then you're done. But anyways, all right. So yes, due to the length of what we have to talk about, let's stop rambling. Let's get right into it. So body armor. So you guys can see the screen capture. You guys can see the screen share right now. These are articles that I'm going to be throwing into a Google document for you guys. These are guides, okay? But I wanted to share. This is what's out there. This is the level of what's out there. I have a lot of guides, a lot of stuff for you guys simply to look at and read on your own. But for the purposes of the video, I'm trying to make this as condensed and concise and as thorough as possible. So this window are guides. Okay, this is not what I'm talking about. I need to go into my streaming software. That way I can switch windows. So let me do that real fast. But while I'm talking, I wanted to touch on something that came up during Sean's live. Was that last night? 12-hour shifts messed me up, man. During Sean's live, we were talking about, does security really need level 4? Is that, this and that, So, I'm not even going into OBS right now. I'm just talking. Don't just talk. There's a lot to be done here. Okay, so, yeah. Why is that? All right, so while I'm troubleshooting stuff, there we go. There we go. I don't know why. All right, let me just do this. Transition, sorry. All right, so here we are. Other window. Sorry about that. My bookmark bar at the top shows, and I don't want it showing whenever I do these recording videos for context. Well, when I screen share for context. So, threat assessments, body armor, level 4, level 3, what is right for me? Security professionals, you need to do a very serious threat assessment of the post you work. I'm not arguing. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying anything like that. Level 4 is going to be overkill for most of private security. And by the way, I have worn level 4 body armor. Alright? If you are moving a lot, you will die. And by that, I mean, if you move a lot, you are going to feel it. It will hurt. It will sweat. I described my experiences with Safe Life Defense with a dry skin issue that I was born with. I described my issues with Safe Life with eczema, okay? When I sweat, I inflame. When I sweat, that upsets my eczema. Similar experience to anybody wearing body armor in general, really. 8, 12, sometimes even 16-hour shifts working patrol car and sworn law enforcement. You feel that. So if you're moving around a lot, if you're jumping out of your patrol car a lot, if you're active, do you really want to be wearing heavy-ass level 4? I don't. I don't even work law enforcement, guys. I make that very clear every freaking video I ever make. I'm not sworn law enforcement. Alright, I'm security, but I am in active sites. I walk around every hour at least. I'm up, I'm walking the perimeter, interior and exterior. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm off my butt, I'm off my ass. I'm walking, I'm active. I feel level 4. The threat environment that I worked that dictated level 4 was working the power plant out in the middle of nowhere in Boulder, Boulder City, Nevada. Off the beaten path, there was nothing but desert around us, quite literally. You had a long, like 5-mile entry road past the College of Southern Nevada solar power plant, past the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, past the UNLV Science Center, past freaking science centers, past other power plants, past solar farms, this and that. And then you got to my plant. My plant was the dead end of that road. And it was a 5-mile, like 2.5, 5-mile road, guys. And it dead ended at my plant. All right, we were carrying 308 rifles for the desert. And, you know, you had one interior guy who's sitting there at the front gate who would just wave hi to the Southern California Edison guys as they came in, just making sure they had the badge, making sure they actually booped in, making sure they badged in. Because we had a pull gate. So, you know, you'd boop and then the gate would open. And you just pop your head out of the front guard check. You just pop your head out of the box, say hi, make sure it was an Edison vehicle, or make sure it was an employee. They were told to flash the badge. So, you know, if they were in their POV, making sure their badge was, you know, yeah, okay, they're badged. But, yeah, the two exterior guys carried long-distance rifles. They carried 308. They carried precision rifles. Some guys were allowed to bring their own. I know one guy who had a freaking Scar H, for God's sakes. Which ain't a 308. It's basically step down. It was a 7.62. His Scar was 7.62, but still, it's essentially a. I don't know how to articulate it. It's like a necked down. It's a smaller 308, basically, just like 5.56 223. Basically, like 308 7.62. Anyways, I digress. So body armor. Oh yeah, that was actually one of the topics on my sticky note. So yes, you need to do a threat assessment for your post. What are you dealing with? And base your body armor selection off that. So, are you gonna be dealing with only handguns? Realistically, guys, are you going to be dealing with only handguns? Do you really think anybody's going to be pulling out a rifle and or shotgun on you? All right? If you're only going to be dealing with handguns, freaking level, what the hell is it? Level 2A. Level 2A, maybe 3A if you wanted to be absolutely sure, you know. Going one level above what you're thinking is fine. But yeah, so just really look at your threat level. Really look at the circumstances you find yourselves in. When I worked some of these shithole properties in Las Vegas, these weekly monthlies that were, you know, known to have gang activity, that practically had a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department patrol car assigned to that unit. There was always Metro there, so a patrol unit was practically assigned to that damn weekly monthly. It was assigned to that shithole. What were they using in that shithole when things popped off? No pun intended, since we're talking about firearms. Handguns. It was only handguns. Okay. So 2A, 3A maybe. That's it. That's all I needed. I did not need level 4 to be defeating frickin' armor-penetrating black tips. You will not need that when you're walking shithole properties. The only time I can ever see anybody needing level 4 are sensitive critical institutions, critical infrastructure, such as, like I said, my power plant. Or if the FAA allowed us to wear body armor at the government facility that you guys know I just recently left in the last couple of months, government facilities, again, power plants, government facilities, this and that. An air traffic control facility is a very good, it's a very good case to wear straight to the top of the NIJ certification, straight to the top. Let's just go level 4. But anyways, guys, so that's one topic off the sticky note. Just making sure you do a threat assessment. Look at yourself. Realistically, what do you expect to find yourself in? Or against, excuse me. What do you expect to find yourself up against? If somebody's pulling something on you, if somebody's holding you at gunpoint, what is that gun going to be? Is it going to be a handgun? Is it going to be a rifle? Is it going to be a shotgun? Think about it, guys. Just think about it. Level 4 is overkill for most of you. Most of you. And I'm not saying that as an absolute, oh, if you use 4, you're wrong. No, I'm not saying that. Just look at yourselves. Look at the environment you find yourselves in. You need to do a threat assessment of your security post. I stress that. I stress that. All right. So, body armor performance standards. What do we look at? So, I'm going to be clicking off this article. I'm going to be clicking off this article very fast. Actually, I just wanted to say, hey, I made it in the short 4-minute video I made when I first woke up. It's on my YouTube channel, stating, yeah, I'm going to be throwing some things together in a document for you guys. I'm throwing these into a document for you guys. Published standards. The .06 you see there, that is the ballistic guide that the NIJ uses to find out if your body armor is up to snuff. And mind you guys, these are government documents. And I don't mean that to be like, oh, they're top secret. No, I'm just saying, government documents are normally longer. The .06, the ballistic resistance, the .06 protocol standard, that's an 85-page document. Stab resistance, I haven't looked through that. But for those of you who are looking for spike slash stab slash slash resistance, there is an NIJ standard that'll be there as well. Selection and application guide. That's like a 105 or 180 page document. I'm throwing that in the document I'm gathering for you guys as well. That is basically literally the entirety of what the NIJ uses. Pardon me. That's literally what the NIJ uses for everything. Everything body armor. It's everything in one. The selection and application guide. All right, so we're going to click off that. Understanding the .06 standard protocol, whatever you want to call it. What is my vest rated for? What are these levels? What the hell is Mike talking about? All right, well, simply put, before I even go into the article, again, if it's A, is handgun. If it's just, it's rifle. So 2A, handguns. 2, long guns, rifle, shotgun. 3A, handguns. 3, rifle. 4, well, 4 at that point is everything. So, rifle, handgun. Oh, yeah, and so, yeah, something else I didn't touch on during part 1, something else I haven't touched on yet. If it's 2, it's everything 2A plus. So, think of the chart as, how do I just lost it. I just lost it in my head. Brain to mouth. Think of this chart as it's building off one another. So 2A, 2, it adds on to 2A. It's everything 2A plus. 3A, again. 3A, everything 2 and, back. So 3A adds to 2. It's 3A and the 2s. 3 is 3A and the 2s. 4, well, that's the whole damn chart. I don't need to go on. So, what are you defeating? 2A is tested to stop 9 and 40. Nothing. No long gun. 2s add 357. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I'll say that. I'm wrong. I thought 2 is, rifles, judging from my understanding on the letter, this nomenclature. So 2 adds to 357. 2 is no long guns. See that? No rifle ammo protection. So 2 is 357, basically. No long gun ammo. Sorry, I misspoke. I was mistaken. 3A. 3A will do 357 and 44 Magnum. We're still not in long guns yet. Level 3. That's when we start getting into long guns. It is tested to stop 7.62mm full metal jacket FMJ lead core rifle ammo. And then 4 is tested. Sorry, cat got my tongue. Level 4 is tested to stop 30 cal steel core AP rounds, armor piercing rifle ammo. All right, so we look at this chart. This is a 1-page chart. Again, I'm throwing this in my big master body armor document for you guys. What about 5.56.223? Well, you can go on Lucky Gunner. You can go on any of the ammo websites. There's a lot. There's like a wide variety of 5.56 ammo in existence. But generally speaking, what Sean was talking about in his live, the green tips. The M855 green tip, partial steel core ammo. That's generally, what the military issues for armor, etc., etc. But the NIJ testing basically covers what's more or less commercially available, such as what hunters use, what you may find law enforcement using. Well, law enforcement uses the great tip. Sean talked on that. So yeah, the rounds with lead cores typically used for hunting and target shooting can be stopped with level 3 hard armor plates. And frass. Soft body armor rifle is frass. Somebody brought that up in the live. I'm just kind of joking as an aside, as an asterisk. So 5.56 ammo designed for mill use has a steel or partial steel, and it needs a ceramic or metallic component to the plate to stop it. If you have identified the M8, I'm gonna use my own wording here for some of this. Sorry guys. So if I'm not reading directly from the chart, I'm not trying to do anything shady there. If you have identified the M855 or similar steel core ammo as a potential threat in your threat environment, you simply need level 4. M855 will, if you have M8, if you think, or if you even have the most remotest possibility of having to deal with M855 green tip in your private security, in your site, you even think you're going M8. If you even think that you're going to be dealing with, if you are going to encounter green tip, you need to go straight to the top of the NIJ certification list and go just go level 4. So what about those unique rounds? The 5.56 Jacket of Hollow Point. It has a lead core, so you want level 3 armor or greater. As I spoke on, you don't get into long guns at all until you get to 3. So 7.62 full metal jacket, lead core rifle ammo, you want 3. So if you're dealing with, if you're dealing with 5.56 hollow points at all, forget everything up to 3A. You need the 3. I'm just making sure my cursor is actually hitting it. And if you're dealing with 5.56 green tip, if you're dealing with those 8.55s, if you're dealing with these 8.55 green tip partial steel cores straight to the top of the NIJ, you need 4. All right, so that's one of my sticky note topics out of the way now. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be compiling a document for you folks. So now we're going to get into, where's my sticky note? Now we're going to get into like plate cuts, the different body armor panel styles. What shape? What are these shapes? What do they cut them in? What is this? What is that? All right, so armor plate cuts. Now I will go into these guides, but I will also say it, even though I know it's going to come up in the guides because I looked through these articles for a short time before. Some armor manufacturers do have their own proprietary cuts. And I would say, generally speaking, don't go to those proprietary cuts for the most part, because if you use a proprietary cut, you're basically going to limit yourself to that one company. So say, I think it's AceLink. AceLink has their own special like USA cut or something. If you go with that USA cut, then you got to go with an AceLink carrier, which may or may not go into this video carrier selection. But that's just a short little tidbit for you guys as far as these plate cuts here, these plate styles. Don't go proprietary, because if you go with proprietary, if you go with a proprietary plate, then you got to get one of their vests, their carriers, which you throw your actual body armor, which you throw the actual plate into. Then you got to go with their shell, their carrier. So there are several well-known cuts. I touched on it in part 1. You got your square, rectangular. You got your full cut. It's just a straight square, back only. Don't use those for the front, obviously. Square, rectangular is being thrown into your back plate pocket. Shooter's cut. It's a rectangle with the top corners cut off to allow better arm movement and weapon shouldering. Again, cover that. So apparently there's 2 varieties of shooter's cut. Shooter cut #1. It kind of highlights, sorry. Shooter cut 1 and shooter cut 2. But swimmer's cut is an exaggerated version of the shooter's cut, removing more upper material. So as you guys can see, as I covered in Body Armor 1, it's a deeper slant. The swimmer cut is because I'm not sure if the camera's going to catch me. And by the way, I'm in the corner, I know, guys, so pardon me if I'm not giving you guys good context. But swimmer's cut basically is that deeper slant so you could swim. So, you could actually swim in your armor. But generally speaking, simply put, oh yes, I'm sorry, before I go any further. And then you got your side plate cuts. You see that there. So let me see if I can stand up and if the camera will actually capture me, because I'm doing all this blind basically, because I'm in the web browser, I'm not in my streaming software, so I don't know what the camera's going to look like. So your side plate cuts, exactly what it says. So I got my front, I'll have my back plate. Your side armor is your sides. It's your hip area. It's your sides. One of the Reddit guides I'm going to be gathering for you guys is basically a guide to side armor, not soft armor. One of the guides I'm gathering for you guys is side armor. So do you need side armor? That guide will help you assess that. But anyways, I digress. So back to this. So when deciding on a cut, you need to look at your needs. Is more coverage, more of you being covered? Is that a priority, or is more maneuverability important to you? Now remember, there's a argument in the industry in general, private security, law enforcement, there's all these online arguments. Plates are not a perfect solution in any way. Yeah, that's the whole bulletproof versus bullet resistant argument that I just alluded to. It's not magic armor that gives you plus dexterity and dodge factor. Video game talk. I wear body armor plus 5 protection. Well, the plates are meant to save your life. They're not going to be expected to keep your entire body bullet free. Yeah, that's why you need to assess your levels. You need to assess your NIJ levels. You need to go with what you're expected to deal with. If you're going to be dealing, then see, even these, like I was alluding to, if you're working shithole properties in Las Vegas, generally speaking, those shithole, the gangbangers or whatever, the shitholes are only going to have handguns. I could very well get away with 2A. Now, if I think somebody has, say, a .357 Magnum, if I think somebody has a Smith, if I think somebody has a revolver, yeah, I'll go 3A. I always try to go one level above, what I think I'm going to be dealing with anyway. So for me, 2A, I'll go 3A. Get a good plate carrier. Yes, which will be another. This is going to be such a long, drawn-out topic. I can go on for a while about, guys. Plate carriers probably going to have to be another video. Vest carrier selection, which you're throwing your armor into, that's going to have to maybe even be a part 3, depending on how long this goes. So yeah, if you have a crappy carrier, if you make a bad selection, you're going to have a crappy fit. It's going to make life even harder on you. And say you get oh God. I'm just going to throw this out just for context. So I hope this covers it. Obviously, you're not going to be using side plates for your actual, frontal plates. But say you get a 6x6, okay? I'm talking these side plate cuts. Say you get a 6x6, okay? And you get a vest that's 6x8. Your 6x6, it's going to be sloshing. It's going to be riding around that vest. You're going to feel it. If you have a crappy carrier, you're going to have a crappy fit. Yes. By that, they mean make sure it's snug, make sure it actually fits your armor. It actually fits the actual panel. Don't get something too big. So if you have a small plate, get a small carrier. Don't get a small plate and a medium carrier thinking it's going to work. No. Again, that's what I just alluded to. Don't get a 6x6 don't get a 6x6 plate and then get a 6x8 vest, your actual plate carrier, vest carrier. Don't get a 6x8 carrier and think, oh, the 6x6 is going to fit into it. Yeah. But you're also going to have extra room. And that extra room is what the, pardon me, that's going to, the plate is going to ride, it's going to slosh, it's going to ride around that carrier. And then you're going to feel that. So anyways, plate styles. Ah, yes. So generally speaking, the panels are going to be found in the following configurations. That got into your cuts. So you got your conceal cuts, you got your Balk spear cuts. That's generally what the military uses. Balk spear cuts are more or less proprietary for U.S. Mil, and Spear is actually in the name. It's a special forces. It's a special forces program within the military. Spear is like a military logistics entity within the U.S. Armed Forces. Spear is actually like special projects or something. I got the acronym in this window. I'm trying to get through this window within this video without it going too long. So yeah, you may also find panels cut to fit specific style vests, such as the HICOM REA, such as the HICOM R or Chase Tactical series of Trooper APC armor carriers. So that's what I was alluding to at the beginning. You know, don't get these proprietary cuts. Get the proprietary cuts, then you got to go with their stuff. So if you went with the Chase Tactical Trooper APC plate, then you're going to end up in Chase Tactical's carriers. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one company. So yeah, again, individual armor manufacturers may also offer customer. That word. Sorry, I'm talking so fast and catching over myself. Those cuts for their models. So yeah, Spear Balix military inspired cut allows for balance between rapid mobility and protection. APC armor cut. It's designed to protect the anterior and posterior surface. Getting into science talk. Big words, I don't know. I forgot those definitions. Soft armor. Oh yes. So yeah. So plate backers. This is armor that you're either going to throw in front of or in back. You're either going to be throwing these plate backers in front of your actual armor or behind your actual armor. And if you're going to want to do that, then you got to make sure your vest carrier, your shell, whatever you're throwing your body armor into, you need to make sure it has a secondary plate pocket. But this covers those call them secondary plates. We'll call them secondary plates for the sake of this video. We'll make sure our vest carrier has a secondary plate pocket for those secondary plates, those secondary backers. So here's some examples of manufacturer-specific panel shapes designed to fit proprietary models. I know the yellow is Safariland. Safariland is not just holsters, guys. Safariland actually makes a full suite of equipment for professionals. Safariland makes ballistic shields. They make body armor. They make helmets. They make vest carriers that the body armor goes into. That's another thing. Body armor does not refer to the entire assembly. Body armor refers to the plate. When we're talking body armor, we're talking, what do I throw in this carrier? Body armor is the actual plate, what actually stops the bullet, or round, cartridge, whatever you want, whatever nomenclature you want to use. So anyways, I'm gonna get into the other. Moving on. So there is a long, drawn-out argument: a soft body armor versus hard armor. Well, we covered it at the beginning when I threw out that one-page sheet. Actually, let me see. Let me pull up OBS, see where we're at right now. We're at, oh god, half hour. All right, so I'm gonna have to stop this. I'm gonna have to stop this video. All right, guys. So I'm gonna be chunking this up. We're gonna be going into yet another freaking part, and we're gonna chunk this up just because this one video has gone on long enough. So I covered certain video topics, or excuse me, I covered certain topics on these sticky notes that I have. We're gonna stop the video. This has gone on for damn near half hour already. We're gonna chunk this video out. We're gonna stop recording. We're gonna go into a next video. So if you're interested in the body armor series that I'm doing, at this point it's gonna be a saga. If you're interested in continuing, please feel free to continue. Other than that, this is Mike here with Professional Security Journal. Sorry this went on for forever. I just noticed this is 29 minutes as I'm talking right now. We're approaching half hour. So I'm just gonna kill the video. I'm gonna kill the feed, and we'll go into the next video. So if you're interested, please feel free. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Anyways, guys, Mike here, Professional Security Journal. You guys take it easy. On to the next video. I'm going to be hitting record right as I'm done with this one.